So you need to make more money. And if you're comfortable right now, hey, thank God for that. But you need to make more money so that you can be generous and so that you can give. And you can find some day laborers that need some work, or you can go to a restaurant and leave $100 tip and just shock the hell out of people, right? Like, because they need that money. It might be the only money that they made for the last 3 or 4 days, right? Because everybody is holding on to it a little bit tighter. All right, hey everybody, Rob Kosberg here with Bestseller Publishing. This is our BSPU call, and I'm very excited to be with you, excited to be with my clients, be able to answer your questions, and also share a little bit about what's on my heart today. I want to talk to you about how and why to win during a crisis. And that may sound a little odd. How to win during a crisis perhaps doesn't sound odd. Why to win during a crisis may sound a little bit more odd, but I do feel like it's something that's important to discuss. And I'll share with you as I kind of express my heart. Every week we do something a little bit different. Sometimes we really dial in on a specific strategy and we go deep on that. And today I'm going to be talking a little bit of a little bit strategic and tactical, but also a little bit more kind of motivation-wise and mindset-wise, if you will. Obviously, we're still in the midst of a lot of the crisis craziness, right? Today is Cinco de Mayo. Actually, tomorrow is my anniversary, so these are like 2 really fun days for my wife and I. She loves Cinco de Mayo. And actually, restaurants started opening up again here in Florida yesterday. There's lots of rules and the seating is limited and all of that. So we're going to be walking to a Mexican restaurant right down the way and having some chips and salsa and some Mexican food and some margaritas and celebrating Cinco de Mayo kind of pre-anniversary. Tomorrow we actually celebrate our 31st anniversary. You can probably tell by my glasses. And now that I'm not getting haircuts, the gray that clearly is coming in nice and thick. Anyway, 31 years. Wow. God bless that woman to put up with me for so long. But being in the midst of this crisis, now going on maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks or so, and looking at it both from how I felt 2 months ago entering it, and even a month ago when we were kind of in the midst of it, and now still really in the midst of it. Unemployment is skyrocketing far, far greater than the Great Depression. And they're talking about potentially 45 million people being out of work in the United States of America, which is incredible. The statistics are just mind-boggling. What I've seen from a business standpoint, now I don't know if you serve, direct to consumer, because obviously we have dozens of people on this call. I don't know if you serve kind of business to business. We're a little bit of both, right? We serve a lot of business owners or those that are about the business of a book, but also a lot of people that, don't necessarily have a business directly, but want to write a book and get a book out and maybe use that book to create a business. So we kind of serve both of those communities. And I can tell you at the beginning of the crisis, there's no question. And even now, although I do see things beginning to change, we were generating more leads than ever, and really high quality leads. And we were generating them for less per lead than we had previously. But I can tell you, people were scared to buy. People were holding onto their wallets more tightly. Now, I don't know if that is your experience or not. That is not true in every industry, but that's true in a lot of industries where business owners, even business owners with cash, and business owners that have businesses that continue to do well, are thinking twice about every investment that they're making. So seeing all of this happen, and kind of living it, and in some ways reliving it, because wondering, is this going to be like 2008? how is it going to be different? Is it going to be a V-shaped recovery, a W-shaped recovery, a U-shaped recovery, right? I mean, what the heck? What kind of recovery is it going to be? I had to think, okay, I have an offer that works, meaning that, we offer something and have it very dialed in to our ideal client. That's just the truth. We know our ideal client. We know you. We know what it is that you want, because I started as my ideal client, right? I started it that way. And so a lot of what we do is very dialed in, and our business is 9 years old. It's fairly mature, right? And yet we saw, things beginning to dip and lag, not in lead generation, but in actual new clients coming on. So I needed to, take a look with eyes that were beyond just the crisis, and understand, number one, I know we have an offer that converts. I know we have a marketplace that continues to still be interested in our offer, because we're generating as many leads as we ever have, and they're really good quality leads. So what we need to do is we need to adapt. We need to figure out how we win now, right? How does bestseller publishing win now? Now, I'm sharing all of this, about myself and my company, but I want this to be relatable to you. And I have several points here to go over, but you need to be thinking about this for yourself. If you have a business that's been operating for any length of time, and you have an offer that is a good offer, that it serves a client really well and helps that client to achieve a wonderful result, and you're still maybe generating leads, but maybe, you've seen a dip, or you're concerned about a dip or whatever, then you have to start looking at, not let me create a whole new offer, or let me do something and completely pivot, because there's all kinds of stuff in the marketplace right now about how you need to pivot and you need to change. And I'm like, no, wait a minute. I love what I do. I'm not going to pivot. I'm not going to start doing magazines, right? I'm not going to start creating videos for people. I do books, and we help people to win with books, and we do media and PR from books, right? And so I don't think pivoting is always the answer. Now, maybe it is sometimes, but not always, and maybe not even most of the time. So adjustments need to be made, but not wholesale adjustments. So you need to be thinking, how do I win when I take stock in everything that I'm doing right now? What's working, what's not working during this crisis? How do I win? We'll get to the why, because there are some obvious whys, but that's not what I'm going to tackle. We'll get to the why towards the end. So let me give you kind of 3 steps and some examples and ideas that may be helpful to you, that has really helped us. 3 steps about how to win during a crisis with a business that has an offer that really serves people, and et cetera, all of the preliminaries that I gave you. So number 1 is, if you have an offer that's a good offer, our offer is a good offer, we know our clients, then what we needed to do, and what you need to do, is you need to find new ways to make and communicate that offer to people. Okay, number 1, you need to find new ways to make and communicate that offer to people. Now, this works in every industry. There was a little restaurant that my wife and I would go to every single week, sometimes twice a week. They made this smoky old fashioned I enjoyed. I knew, the waiters, I knew everybody. It's small, right on the corner. When things shut down and you could no longer go into the restaurant, this restaurant found a new way to make their offer and communicate their offer. They started, believe it or not, selling everything from toilet paper and disposable wipes, and bringing people into their restaurant to take out food and finding ways to deliver. And they immediately, not pivoted their whole business, but found a new way to get people in the door and sell them something. They have continued to thrive through this time of difficulty, because they didn't change being a restaurant ultimately. They just found a new way to make their offer. How does this relate to us directly? Well, many of you have seen, and some of you are a product of this, but we created a new way to make our offer with this Publish, Promote, Profit 7-day book challenge. And some of you that are on this call are a product of going through that challenge and becoming clients of Bestseller Publishing. I'm not going to give you all the statistics because I don't have all the numbers yet, but as my clients, I will do that for you. I share with you kind of our personal financial information so you know what we invest and how it works for us so that you can model and imitate it. I'd never run a challenge before, but I've done everything. I've done live events. I've spoken on other people's stages. I've done live webinars. I've done as many as weekly webinars over a period of months and months. I've never done a challenge, but I had a good friend and former client of mine, Pedro Dow, who got my attention because he just finished a challenge. And in 30 days, this ended about 2 weeks ago, he did $2 million in revenue. I'm not talking about sales. I mean actual income, actual cash in the bank. And that got my attention because all this happened during this crisis. Here are people spending with him during the crisis. And I thought, you know what? Look, we have a good offer. We have a proven offer. This could be a new way for us to convey our offer to an entirely new audience of people. So what did I do? Man, I worked my butt off. I worked my butt off for about a week, building the funnels, writing the email copy, writing the copy for the landing pages, creating the upsells and downsells. I mean, doing it all. I mean, a significant amount of work, not knowing if any of this would work for us. Then when the challenge began, we poured, a hefty sum of money into marketing. The beautiful thing is the way the challenge was structured. We spent about $11,000 in Facebook advertising over 7 days, and I made almost exactly $11,000 back over that 7-day period because we had a number of upsells and downsells, a $17 platinum package, very inexpensive, just threw value at people. And we had a $97 VIP package, which even some of you that I see are on were a part of that. And so made about 11,000 back, threw all of that back into the challenge, brought about 2,500 people onto the email list. I'm not going to give you all the numbers. Numbers aren't ultimately important. I don't know all the numbers at this moment. When I have them all, I'll give them to you. However, the big number, this will be the most successful and profitable campaign that I have ever run with Bestseller Publishing. I'm blown away. And during a crisis. It's not because people are spending more right now, because I just told you that leading up to all of this, we were generating more and higher quality leads than ever, but our sales rate, our conversion rate was way down. So what we did is we created a way instead to present our offer, right, in a way that gave awesome value to people and engaged people and got people to make a decision to invest. All I did was repackage the exact thing that I do in a way that was new. You have to consider what new way you can do that with your business. I have a past client, her name is Ellen, and we did a book for her. She is an Amazon expert, and she created a multi-million-dollar a year Amazon business from an $800 investment. She's from Chinese ethnicity, so she literally flew to China with these giant suitcases, bought $800 worth of stuff, and started her Amazon business that way. Now she teaches people to do an Amazon business. She found a way to package her offer in such a way that last month she had her biggest month ever. She did over $400,000 in sales of her Amazon course, spending about $60,000 in advertising. She had never done anything like that before, but because of the repackaging and finding a new way, her new way was YouTube ads, which she hadn't done before. Without going into great detail, all she did was find a new way to make her offer to an audience it resonated, and she's making more money and doing better than she ever has in her business. You have to do the same thing. You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again in a crisis. If it's working, great, do more of it. But if you see, the indicators starting to lag, then you need to make an adjustment. You need to change. How do you change? I don't know. That's where you need to figure it out, right? For us, we had to take a chance and try this challenge. And I can tell you, you're going to see me running a challenge probably every other month, maybe every month, because I already have my idea for the next challenge and the next one, then the next one. It's a lot of work, but you know what? That's where the why comes in just a little while. Okay, so that's number one. You need to find a new way to make your offer. Number two, if you can, and everyone can, you need to add more value to your offer and create something special. Add more value and try to create something special. Now, what do I mean by that? I'll give you a couple of different examples. We added some bonuses to this offer. And oh, by the way, all of you, my done-for-you clients, these bonuses I'm going to offer to you guys. So don't worry, like, oh, you missed out because you came in, the month before. The only bonus that I can't give you because I have to pay for it, but I can give you a big discount on, is Pedro's course. But we offered several bonuses that I had to create. These are brand new things that I am creating with Matthew Kimberly, with Pedro Dow, etc. And these new bonuses, again, which you're going to get access to, are super high value, especially in like a time like we're in right now. So when I thought about, okay, I want to give this the best opportunity I could, I thought, how can I load up the value and create an offer that people would just say to themselves, how can I say no to this? Like, how can they're answering every question for me, and they're giving me everything that I need to actually succeed. That's what you need to do. So you may be selling A to people, but you know that they need B, C, and D. Well, if you can create some type of course or information calls that you can record and package, then that now boosts the value of whatever it is you're offering in a major, major way. We had some friends recently, and I'm thinking of my buddy Mike, who is in real estate. And some friends of ours, we're in Florida now, and my dad owns or has owned a real estate company forever here in Florida. And so works with people in real estate down here and still lists homes. So although he's, in his late 70s, so he doesn't do much of that. And, he was telling me about some people that are doing some various things. And we had some friends that were looking to sell their home, but their home was in disrepair. It was the worst home in the best area, which is what everybody wants, right? But they don't generally pay top dollar for the worst home in the best area. These people wanted to get top dollar for their home. And I'm probably exaggerating a little about worst home. It's not like it was, a tear down or anything like that, but it needed real love. And there was a company that said, look, what we'll do if you're in a situation like that is we will come in, you will have to pay for it. So you'll need equity in your home. We'll come in and we will professionally guide you to paint your house the right colors, refinish the floors, professionally stage your house, all of this stuff so that you can get top dollar for the house. Other people wanted to list this house, and it was an expensive home, expensive area. Other people wanted to list this house hundreds of thousands of dollars less. But this one company came in and said, we will do all of this for you, no cost, right? The only cost is what it's going to cost to get this work done by the painters and floor refinishers and staging company. And you'll be able to get hundreds of thousands of dollars more for your house. That's the company they went with, because that company found a way to, answer their questions, right? Give more value. And the commission, this is a 7-figure sale. The commission is going to be very, very large on this. So you need to find, no matter what it is you're selling, what it is you're doing, you need to find a way to create special value for people. Now, that's always a good idea to do, but it's especially a good idea right now. And then number three, and kind of final thing, is find a way to bring other experts into your world. You can call them partners or teachers or trainers, but other experts that can provide value for people that are complementary to what you do, not competitive in any way to what you do. So what did I do? Well, some of you know Amy Dix. Amy Dix is a project manager on our team at Bestseller Publishing. You may or may not know that I did 2 books for Amy. Amy and I developed a tremendous friendship. I asked her if she would also do work because I love what she does, and she owns a branding company, for crying out loud. And I didn't even know this. And sometimes I'm embarrassed by this, but many times you guys are winning in incredible ways and you're not telling me. And I'm mad at you for that. And you need to tell me about the wins that you're experiencing. So I was talking to Amy as all this was going on. And I said, Amy, I'm looking to have some people on to talk about speaking. I'm like, Amy, every time I talk to you, except the last month or two, you're on a plane and you're traveling to another speaking engagement. Give me a little bit of detail. She goes, Rob, in an 18-month period leading up to all this crisis, my books and the process you taught me, she told me this, the process you taught me has gotten me 97 paid speaking engagements all over the country. And her fee ranges from $5,000 to $12,000. I'm like, Amy, we talk every week. How do I not know this? I'm like, please, please, please come on and share what you've done and how you've done it to my challenge participants, because many of them want to be speakers. The same with Pedro. When Pedro and I were talking, I'm like, Pedro, I did your first book for you. Come on and share how you did $2 million using your challenge and how now, I'm using my book. I mean, for crying out loud, my challenge was called the Publish, Promote, Profit 7-Day Book Challenge, right? It was just using my book exactly the way you can. I'm like, Pedro, you come on. And then I had Matthew Kimberly come on as well. I don't know if you know him, but he runs Book Yourself Solid. He's a dear friend, lives in Malta, from an English background, et cetera. So I brought in these partners that could complement my offer. And, look, I do things for them. They do things for me. And they know that if they add value to you, that when it comes time to need something that Rob doesn't offer and maybe Matthew Kimberly offers, then you're going to think about Matthew. And so they understand that it will come back to them. But it really added incredible value to my offer to bring them in as a secondary voice, a second voice, a third voice, a fourth voice, so that they can offer something of value, increase the overall value of the offer that I was making, and, kind of prove the point, because all 3 of them are best-selling authors who have gone on to do millions of dollars in sales in various different ways. So the 3 points again: how to win. We're going to talk about why in just a second. How to win. Find new ways to make your offer. I shared about me and the challenge. I shared about Ellen using YouTube. Create a special offer. In other words, add some real value with some additional bonuses that can be information that doesn't cost you a dime to deliver, but is very, very valuable to people. And then number 3, bring on partners or teachers that can, boost your credibility, but also offer complementary value to your potential students, to your potential clients. It could be anything. Doesn't matter if you're in a brick and mortar business or if you're doing something like I'm doing that's a high ticket service business, et cetera. So those are the 3 hows that I wanted to share with you. Let me just talk mentality and mindset for just a moment, if I could. And let me talk to you about why. And I'm even going to ask you for something, if that's okay. Let me just be really blunt. You need to make more money. Okay. You need to make more money, not just for yourself, but so that you can be a generous person. We live in the richest country in the world. We're not worried. I don't think there's a single person on this Zoom call or listening that is worried about where their next meal is coming from. If somebody is, then reach out to me and let me help you. But I don't think there's a single one of us that are worried about that. But let me tell you something. If you're paying attention, and I believe that you are because I know the kind of people that you are, if you're paying attention, then you have seen this crisis that we're going through right now that has been concerning and alarming and fearful. In much of the developing world and majority world is actually statistically may cause more death from starvation because day laborers are not able to work right now, and employment is down 40, 50% in many of these developing and majority countries. More people will die from that than from the coronavirus. Now, I'm not saying that we're doing the wrong thing and we need to restart the economy and all that. And I'm just trying to be that is how I feel. You know, I mean, don't shoot me for my feelings. But again, if you start paying attention and looking and reading, you will see that there are many very, very poor countries that the people that are living in these places, they're going hungry right now because they haven't been able to work. In Florida, a beautiful place within Florida, St. Augustine. Yesterday, our stuff was delivered by pod, and we had movers that came here. These are kind of the day laborers, if you will, of Florida. And these were, three hometown guys. I'm from Kissimmee, which is, just like a stone's throw to the center of the state. So I can say this, they're rednecks. These guys are just rednecks. And I kind of grew up a redneck, working on a ranch and riding horses. So I know what it's like. And we were talking to these guys. And of course, we gave them a very large tip and we paid them generously. And they were all thanking us. And they said, we have worked 3 days in the last 30. That's all. He said, if we didn't get that $1,200 stimulus, I don't know what we would have done. And now this was after I had already paid them and tipped them. So it wasn't like they were trying to butter me up for more money. We were just having a talking about our dogs, talking about family, talking about life. And they said, man, thank you so much. This is our 3rd day of working in the last 30. And I'm thinking to myself, I need to make more money so that I can be more generous. And I believe that you do too. Of course, you need to meet your needs and you need to meet the needs of your family and those closest to you. But there's lots of opportunities to help people in very, very difficult circumstances that you and I just, we don't live in those circumstances. A few months ago, some of you know this, some of you don't, but a few months ago, and you'll hear more about this, but we partnered with a charitable organization, 501c3, called Hope Worldwide. And this was before we even knew that there would be a COVID or pandemic or shutdown. This is months ago. And we decided we wanted to do something as bestseller publishing, and I wanted to do something on your behalf. And so we decided to take some money from every, new client that comes into bestseller publishing and start an early childhood development center in Tijuana. A very, very poor area right across the border from, San Diego, California. And of course, my main office is there in Los Angeles. My team was excited about it. We're actually going to take trips down there. So we're building a center. So we dedicated a certain amount of money every single month to get this thing up and going. But as I've talked more and more to, these people at Hope Worldwide, I'm like, this is not, they're not politicizing like this. They're telling me stuff not for political gain, right? They're telling me things not because they want to make a statement on ABC about how we need to open the country up. They're telling me, it's looking like as this goes longer and longer and real starvation starts to be a problem, that more people will die in what we used to call the third world, now we call the majority world. More people will die of starvation than the hundreds of thousands that will probably die from COVID. So you need to make more money. And if you're comfortable right now, hey, thank God for that. But you need to make more money so that you can be generous and so that you can give. And you can find some day laborers that need some work, or you can go to a restaurant and, leave $100 tip and just shock the hell out of people, right? Like, because they need that money. It might be the only money that they made for the last 3 or 4 days, right? Because everybody is holding on to it a little bit tighter. So I'm just asking you and imploring you, like, use the things that we talk about to make more money for yourself so that you can be generous in all circumstances. That's my ask of you. My ask is that you be generous. If you're interested in donating to Hope Worldwide, I've actually started we have what we're doing, the Early Childhood Development Center that we're doing in Tijuana. We're still doing that. And we're still taking care of that from everything that we're doing. And at our next client event, I'm going to have like one of the ambassadors of Hope come and we'll talk about all that we're doing, which is really cool. By the way, that was one of the really exciting bonuses that I offer. I sent Kevin Harrington a big sum of money and I said, Kevin, you need to come and that will be a great bonus, and I'll have all my clients come. So obviously that's a bonus for all of you to come to our next BSP event, which right now is tentatively September 4th and 5th. I say tentatively because of the coronavirus thing. Anyway, I'm going to put a link in our private membership area for any of you that want to donate to this COVID relief, which that money is going directly. It's not going to administration or any of those things. It's going directly to people that are hungry to feed them. You don't have to give to this. You can give to whatever your heart moves you to give to. But I want to give you a resource. If you go, well, I don't know where to give. Well, this is where we're giving, and I've vetted them and I've known these people. And actually the chief operating officer of this company is one of my best friends. And this is a worldwide organization with millions of dollars that they generously give. And so I know these people very, 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 very well. So if you're interested, I'll put a link in the Facebook group, but I don't care what you do. I just challenge you to do something. Make more money right now. Like, dive deep and go, let me work my butt off right now. Let me see if I can make some more money and give it away. You can't outgive the universe. You can't outgive God. You can't outgive, the source of life. When you give, it comes back to you. I believe that. I am an example of that in my life, as I believe that many of you are as well. So that's the how and the why of winning in a crisis. You can win right now, and you should win right now. And if you're comfortable, hopefully I gave you some additional motivation to win even bigger so that you can be generous for others. Anyway, I love you guys. I mean that with all my heart. I'm grateful for you. I thank you for your trust in me and in the team at Bestseller Publishing. We're not perfect, but I promise you we do the best we can to serve you guys. I'm going to open it up to any questions that we have, but hey, that's all I got to say about that, as Forrest Gump so eloquently put it. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. Every week, we're posting tons more content to help you to publish, promote, and profit. So go ahead and subscribe now to the channel and click the bell icon to be notified whenever new content is available. And if you're interested in my latest book, Publish, Promote, Profit, just go to publishpromoteprofit.com.